What's up, gamers? We're back. It's another Yu-Gi-Oh video. And this time, as you know, last month we did get announcements of the Power Fellow Structure Deck. However, we are not getting that here. We are getting the Legendary 5Gs decks. Basically, they're the Legendary Hero decks or the Legendary stuff, from years on past. And we did get the first batch of the new support that Yusei is going to get at the moment. We did have these 4 cards. I think they had potential, as they do have it provides one new little OTK shenanigans that you can do with Junk Warrior Extreme, and then summon out the OG Junk Warrior and such. But of course, it is hindered by the fact that Junk Speeder exists. And we did get 2 new cards. I do believe we are still missing 2 cards. Here, we get to salvage your plays with SYNCHRO. Golly, they made Scrap Iron Scarecrow SYNCHRO. Who would have thought? It's a level 1 Earth Tuner. For this Synchro summon, you can substitute this card for any one Synchron Tuner, and you can only use the first and second effect of this card name each once per turn. If you could Synchro summon a monster that matches a Synchron Tuner as material, this card in your hand can be used as material. If a monster you control that matches Junk Warrior and or is a Synchro monster with Warrior in its name would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard instead. This is relevant up to how Scrap Iron Scarecrow would protect your monsters from battle. Obviously, besides Junk Warrior, this also mentions Synchro monsters with Warrior in its original name. Things like Starter's Charge Warrior, Drill Warrior, Turbo Warrior, Road Warrior, things like that. This also protects, new Junk Warrior Extreme, of course, because Junk Warrior Extreme mentions Junk Warrior. I lied. He actually doesn't. He actually doesn't mention Junk Warrior Extreme. It's just Junk. He mentions that, but you're supposed to get OG Junk Warrior out with this dude. And Scrap Warrior. He's a level 3 level 3 Synchro. He needs Scrap Synchron and 1 or plus non-tuners. If this card's Synchro summon, you can add to your hand or send to the graveyard 1 Junk Synchron or 1 card that mentions Junk Warrior from your deck to your hand. Obviously, you want to grab Synchro Fellows, which gets Junk Synchron, or that monster that mentions it, things like Starter Synchron, for example. And you can banish this card from your graveyard. Target Synchro monster control this gets level by 1. Then you can get an additional normal summon for a Synchro monster in the additional normal summoner set. You're meant to reduce it. You're meant to reduce this dude, Scrap Warrior. Grab Junk Synchron, normal Junk Synchron, make Junk Speeder, go crazy from there. That's what I think is the intended use case for this. Obviously, the deck made a better OTK strategy due to the fact that Full Speed Warrior gives the 900 boost. Anchor Bolt gives an extra 800 as well to Junk Warrior, and Junk Warrior gets all the attack. And we do get confirmed reprints, the Alt-Art Tuning and the Alt-Art 1-for-1 Sonic Chick and Junk Synchro pulling that goddamn motor. Obviously, these are cards used by Yusei. I'm still in the hopes that we do get a Sonic Bird retrain, because that is commonly one of the monsters used alongside Junk Warrior. And we do have confirmed reprints for Ash Blossom, Maxi, Scrapyard, Call by the Grave, Krauser Designated, Forbidden Droplet, Synchro Zone, and Infinite Impermanence. We are definitely not getting Maxi here in the TCG. That is most likely going to get replaced by some random hand trap that probably fits. I do not think. Well, besides Scrap Synchron, and Scrap War, I think this is fine for what the deck is trying to get you to do, and it's not Junk Speeder shenanigans. It's more or less hit them really hard in the face. Understand, when we got the first wave of support, this basically said make Junk Warrior hit even harder. Right? Understand, this basically makes you hit your opponent even harder with what you got originally. And then you look at the repertoire of reprints that we got. Of course, we do get Junk Speeder and Junk Warrior, Stardust Dragon, Excel Stardust Synchro Dragon, Formula, Stardust Warrior, Shooting Star, Crimson Dragon. The deck is essentially, it's like, hey, you want to OTK better. Obviously, the deck's identity faults to the fact that it's Junk Speeder and go crazy from there. However, it's clear that they are trying to design the support where it's like, please don't make Junk Speeder. I beg of you. Please make something else. And this is what they're trying to do. I do think it's fine. I think it's okay. Obviously, like, Full Speed Warrior is great. Of course, he is probably your main starter now. That's not named Junk Converter. And of course, this effect here off of Scrap Warrior, the activated effects of your monster that you control that mention Junk Warrior, Iron or Synchro Monster Warrior's original names cannot be negated. I do think this is really good. However, besides say Junk Warrior, the only one worth a damn would be Stardust Warrior, right? Because yes, Scrap Synchron, like Quick Draw Synchron, substitutes any one name for a Synchron tuner. The thing is, do you really want to make those old Synchron monsters or Warrior monsters? Road Warrior doesn't. The only one worth a damn would be maybe Drill Warrior, but that's played in Edison, and he's better in Edison. You also have things like Stardust Charge Warrior, which is cool. He gets an extra draw, that's fine. But the problem with the deck isn't the fact that it needs extra draws to extend. It got plenty of that because of TG Hyper Librarian. It just needs a better game plan that isn't Junk Speeder. I still am holding out hope that the last two cards, because we still get two more cards, I hope that the last two gives the deck a much better game plan that isn't, yeah, we're making Junk Warrior, giving Junk Warrior even more attack. Now, speaking of synchro summoning using the cards in your hand, we do have the last theme from Fan of Avengers with Killer Tune. I saw these yesterday, so I will give a brief overview of all the main deck monsters. If this card on the field would be used as synchro material, 1/2 in your hand can be used as other materials, and you can only use each of the following effects once per turn. All of these monsters have the besides the last two synchros, have this effect where you are allowed to use a tuner in your hand when you do your synchro summons. All of the synchros do require tuners, and each tune and two of the synchros are named. Now, to mix gets a Killer 2 monster from your deck, your graveyard to your hand, except a level 2. And then all of them do trigger in the graveyard when they use a synchro material. Killer Tune pops a card. Clip randomly banishes a face down monster from your opponent's extra deck. And Rico targets a spell trap your opponent controls and destroys it. Clip is a turn 0 special summon this card from your hand, and then immediately after this effect resolves, secret summon 1 tuner. He's pretty good. And then, of course, Rico gets a monster from your graveyard to your hand, except at level 3. It can't get itself. Fortunately, Mix cannot get herself or Clip. You have to get Rico, which sucks, but I understand. Now, Track Maker. If it's secret summon, add a Killer Tune card from your deck to your hand. And if it's sent to the grave for a sync material, turn a card or your opponent controls to the hand. Remix requires Tune Mix and a tuner. Gains 1500 attack while your opponent has a tuner on their field and or in the graveyard. Meaning they activate something like Ash, Ghost Ogre, Ghost Bell, Effect Failure. He is going to be at 3k. And during your opponent's turn, tribute this card, take 2 non-synchro tuners from your graveyard, add 1 to your hand, and if you do, special summon the other. Then immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon 1 tuner. The idea is you tribute her, get the ones that you use to synchro summon, and just climb from there. I think it's good. Say you use Mix and Rico. to get her. Well, then you just tribute her again, summon the other level 5, which is Red Seal. Red Seal gains 300 attack for each tuners in the graveyard. This counts both graveyards, meaning any Ash, Bell, Veiler, Ogre, for example. Counting you, that's 1200 right there for you and any other ones in your opponent's graveyard. The levels of monsters your opponent controls with 1700 or less original attack are increased by 1 Yomi counter. 2, this is a very interesting floodgates. This counteracts specifically not only Xyz but Synchros, as long as you have at least 1800 attack. I think this is fine. This is an interesting floodgate. This is Mischief of the Gnomes, I believe. On this, you can, or like the reverse of it, where they just go up by a level. And then during the main phase, you can banish 1 tutor from your graveyard, then target a face of monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn. Ideally, if you want to have interaction your opponent's turn, you go Rico and Clip. You make Remix, then Remix effect, get both of them back, and then you synchro into Red Seal. And then we do have Loudness War, which is a level 6. It is generic as it needs a 1 tuner and 1 plus non-tuners. You do need I think either 2 of Rico or 3 of each of the level 2s. Other tuners you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target them with card effects. And when your opponent activates a card effect, banish a killer 2 monster from your graveyard. Apply its effects that it's sent to the graveyard as SYNCHRO material. So you can apply either destroy a spell trap your opponent controls, banish an extra deck monster face down randomly, or target a monster your opponent controls to destroy it. Really good. We'll say it will not be named Killer Tune here in the TCG. It'll be probably named something like Killer Tune or something like that. God, they're all magicians and they're all tuners. Oh, Konami with your jokes. Real good about that one, aren't you? Killer Tune SYNCHRO. You cannot special summon the rest of the turn after this card resolves, except tuners. Also, add 1 Killer Tune card from your deck to your hand, except itself. Then you can synchro summon 1 tuner monster. Nice. Juke Joint Killer Tune. Really like this. I really like this. This is like an underground like band club kind of thing. It's really sick, and it looks like a jukebox. During your main phase, you get a normal summon, additional normal summon for a tuner. Killer Tune Loudness War gains 3300 attack where your opponent has a tuner in the field in the graveyards. This is most likely active at all times because the fact that Ash Blossom, Veiler, or not necessarily Veiler, but Ash Blossom and Ghost Bell are commonly played. Attributed tuner monster, add to your hand or special summon 1 Killer Tune monster from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except tuners, which is fine because the entire deck is all tuners. And then playlist. I really like this trap. You can only activate 2 cards with this name per turn. Target a Killer 2 monster in your control graveyards. Apply these effects in sequence, and then you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except tuners. Apply its effect that activates its if it's sent to the graveyard as SYNCHRO material. Return it to the hand. So in theory, you can get 2 extra deck rips or 2 spell trap removals or 2 monster removals. That's really good. And then the reprints, because all of them do get certain cards to reprint to help them out. Fleur Synchron, Ghost Bell Haunted Mansion, a big one here obviously. It's a level 3. All the Ghost Girls are level 3. So in theory, you can make this with just Rico. I'm just saying. Let's see here. Earthbound Prisoner, Stone Sweeper, fine. And SYNCHRO Overtake. I think SYNCHRO Overtake is the most underrated reprint in this because 2 of the Synchros are named. Because of this, you can special summon them from your deck, which is great. I think this deck has incredible potential. Yeah, the extra deck rip kind of sucks. However, this all 3 decks from Phantom Avengers have such unique gimmicks to them that I think it's not exactly on par with, say, Justice Hunters, but I think that, yeah, I think these are 3 competitive decks that will definitely see in the meta. I definitely think Neocraft will probably be the one most played, and then followed by this, because yeah, turn 0 synchro summons, whoo, was really good. I think that these guys also got the same kind of treatment as well. You know, synchro summon from hand, which is pretty good. Now, the main problem is you are going to probably mostly run a surplus of non-engine, as in Ash, Ghost, Ogre, Bells, due to the fact that they are tuners and they help you make the synchros. Clip on its own gets to remix, and then remix can get into Red Seal, which is a negate, which is really good. Of course, Loudness War is like the big boss monster, of course, and the fact that he applies, the fact that when they're sent to the graveyard sync material, it's really good. I like it a lot. I definitely will be playing Annihilator, but I do think this is like, yeah, if I do want to play another deck, I probably will play this one as well. This is really, they also look really cool. They're all musicians, so because of that, they're all tuners. Funny, Konami. Besides that, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.